Okay, can you hear me? Let's see. It's showing me that I'm live. I'm trying to see if it's working. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay, if you can hear me. Okay, okay. So it's showing me. Okay. All right, so I'm going to copy the link and just share it to everyone. It's good to have you tonight. Tell me where you're watching me from. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear where you're watching from. What do you hope to gain in today's live stream? Yeah, today we're going to be having a guest on the live stream. I'm just trying to ensure that my stuff is connected so that everyone can flow tonight. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about 11 plus. Um, yeah, so today we're going to be talking about 11 plus and SATS for maths. Um, if you can join in, please join in. And tell me where you're watching me from. I would like to know where you're watching me. Okay. Okay. Tell me where you're watching me from. And in case it's your first time, my name is Miss Blessing. This is I Teach with Miss B. And it doesn't matter whether you're a math teacher or you're an English teacher, you're going to be learning something very important today. So just get ready, get ready, get ready, get yourself prepared. Get yourself prepared to join me in today's live stream. Okay, so if this is your first time, please click on the like, subscribe, and share button. There's a lot that we're going to be sharing today. Okay. So let me send these as well. Please let me know where you're watching me from. Please click on the like, subscribe, share button. Very important. Very important. Okay, if you're just joining, my name is Miss Blessing, and this is I Teach with Miss B. Oh, yes. Oh, my camera has been turned off. I'm so sorry, everyone. Okay, so this is my face. Okay, thank you for joining the live stream today. My name is Blessing, and I am an online tutor. Um, I've been teaching for over 3 years or more. So if you're just joining, please tell me where you're watching from. Um, I would love, I would love to, um, I would love to connect with you. I would love to talk with you. So tell me where you're watching me from. And again, yeah, today we're having a guest, and the guest is going to be teaching us about exam classes. I know that most of you have been wondering, oh, listen, they talk about exam classes a lot. How can we become exam tutors? And that is what we're going to be looking at today. And that is what we're going to be working with today. So the person that's going to come in is going to teach us a lot about exam classes. So if you're here, if you're just joining me, please tell me where you're watching from. I want to connect with you. Please tell me your name. Hi. Okay, Ruth. You can't see me. I think maybe you're still at the back. You're supposed to be seeing me now, but every other person can see me. Okay. Confirm you can see me now, Miss Ruth. Confirm you can see me. And if you're just joining, please click on the like button, subscribe button, show me some love. I would appreciate it. I would appreciate it. Please tell me where you're watching from. I want to connect with you guys. And if this is your first time joining the live stream as well, please tell me it's also your first time. Today we are using, what's it called? Today we're using Zoom. We're not using the normal YouTube streaming platform. So our numbers might be shaky, but it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Okay, so tell me if you can see me. Confirm you can hear me. Confirm that you are following me. Okay, I want to be sure. Ruth, yes, you can see me. You see, I tell you that you're able to see me. All right, welcome to the live stream. I hope you're good. I hope your Sunday is going well. All right, so if this is your first time, like I was saying, my name is Miss Blessing. This is IT with Miss B. And I'm going to be doing a lot with you all. Thank you for showing me love, Miss Ruth. And those of you who are just joining, please tell me where. I don't like people who just join and they will not talk. Please tell me where you're watching me from. I want to connect to you. I want to be able to talk to you. All right. I can see you. You're watching me from on Akure Ondo. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Learn with Grace. Okay. And no, Edoho. I am Eno from Abuja. Miss Ezine says, good evening. This is my first time. Should I ring the bell? I don't have bell. Woo. First timer, first timer. Okay, welcome to the live stream. Welcome, Miss Ezine. Okay, I'm glad you found value. My channel is one place where I know you will be able to learn a lot. If you are a physical classroom teacher and you want to transit into the online classroom, my channel is the best place to start from. And like I said, today we're going to be having a guest. Please share the link to people. They need to join in, especially teachers. They need to join in so that we can actually start, okay? You're from where? Abia State. Ooh, from Abia State. That's nice. All right. All right. All right. All right. Welcome to the live stream. And I share tips that help teachers thrive and grow in the classroom, whether it's physical classroom, online classroom. My goal, my aim of creating this YouTube channel is to ensure that you are you become the best version of the teacher that you are. Emmanuel Edwin is from Nasarawa. It's your first time. Okay, let me shout for you again. First time. Don't mind me, I'm a very jolly person. First time, welcome Emmanuel. It's good to have you on the live stream. Thank you for joining in. I don't know, well, those of you that are math teachers here, if you're a math teacher, tell me you're a math teacher. If you're an English teacher, tell me you're an English teacher. If you are both, go ahead, tell me you're both. The reason why is because we're going to be having more of the maths conversation today. However, if you're an English teacher, there's no how you're not going to benefit from it because we're talking about exam skills, teaching exams to the students. So you will need the skills. And the reason why I'm big on exam is because this is where people make a lot of money, or you make a lot of money teaching an exam class. I'm telling you, you can charge as high as 15 to 20K per hour teaching exam classes. But if you're teaching normal classes, you can't dare, like you can't imagine thinking that high. But if you're teaching exam classes, like you can actually charge that high. So if you're just joining, please tell me where you're watching me from. Oh, Virtual Builders is here. Yes, I can see you. Well done. Okay, good to have you here. You're a maths tutor. Okay, very good. Please tell me, are you a maths tutor? I love when I see greens. People like learn with grace, Virtual Builders. Their green used to give me joy because it's obvious they're members. Thank you for trusting me enough to be a member of my YouTube channel. And please, if you're a teacher here, I want you to just do me a favor. The link you used to join this YouTube, share it to a fellow teacher. You could put it in your teacher groups. You could put it in your community, teacher community, because I believe every one of us here are teachers and we have communities that we are in. So you could put it in your teacher community, just ensure that someone is joining at some point. Okay, share the good news, right? Yeah, share the good news. Let people know that someone is doing something that can actually help. I'm not, I believe that when you have, hi teacher Blem, say hello, you're joining from Ibadan. Welcome to the live stream. Okay, so I believe our guest is already here. Okay, so I believe that if you are, I believe that if you're a teacher, you know the struggles teachers actually face when we're trying to make ends meet and we're trying to raise some money and all of that. But if you are not a hoarder of knowledge, you begin to emit more than you are hoarding. Okay, that is why on my channel, I do things for free that should be paid. You only do the pay I collect is not even as much as I'm supposed to be collecting. Bible Stories with Ivy, you're joining from where? Okay. I can't really see. From Abuja. Oh, welcome to the live room. Okay, welcome. So, like I said, a lot of people are struggling as teachers, and if you're a teacher here, don't hoard your knowledge. What you know, share it. The little you, that's how you grow, right? So that's why on my channel, I share things that people actually hide or sell not because I don't want to make money, but because I know that the more you share, the more people come to you. Okay, so if you're a teacher here and you're learning, please go ahead and share this link with somebody. And if you're just joining, please tell me where you're watching from. I want to connect it to you. I want to join you. I want to connect it to you. So our guest is here already. Let me just send her a message and tell her that she should just give me a moment with you guys because I want to prepare your mind. I want to prepare your mind. I want to prepare your soul. I want to prepare your spirits. Please don't take today's this thing. I would have done it. Um, I would have done it as what's it called? I would have done it a as a paid class for those members that have paid. But because I want everybody to learn, that is why I'm doing it for openly, because this person has been working with me for over 3 years now. I think we're going to 4 years together. And when I started teaching online, I met her. She was teaching the maths part of the class, and I was teaching the English. Okay, she was teaching maths, I was teaching English, and we were both, like I said, I always said my first job was a group class. Okay, my first class was a group class, yes. So she was teaching maths, or she's teaching maths till now. She's teaching the maths, I'm teaching the English, and that's how we have. She's one of the best colleagues I've had online. We've never met, like physically meeting, but we are. In fact, she gives me joy 247. Like, she's really good at what she does, and she knows her work. So if you're just joining, please tell me where you're working from. I have about 20 people here. I want to talk to you. I teach both maths and English, key stage one. You're joining from Ibadan. Ibadan people have plenty here. Hello. I was born in Ibadan too, so I'm not surprised. Maybe I'm drawing you guys closer to me, and that's okay. All right. So since we are getting ready and we are ready, I'm just going to let her in. Okay. So please, if you have a question, I'm begging you, do well to use the what's it called, the chat, to ask question while she's asking. All your questions are certainly going to be answered before she leaves here. So if you have a question, do well to ask your question. Okay. Hi, Ms. Blessing. I am both a maths tutor from Abuja. This is from Adeleke Rukayat. Oh, okay. So maths and English, you are trying. No, you used to do maths and English, you are trying. Because me, I don't have brain for maths. I don't know why. So it's just English. I just stay on my English lane and then stay there. All right. So let me let her in so that we don't waste so much time. I want this live stream to be as swift and fast as we can make it. Okay. So if you're just joining, welcome to the live stream. And I hope you're going to make the best of today's live stream. Please do not go anywhere. Watch till the end. I mean, see, because after this video, it's not going to be available for replay. If you want to replay it, you have to be a member, because I'm going to private it for members. So just have to be here and listen and join in. All right. Okay, so the my guest is joining in a few minutes. I'm gonna let her in. Emmanuel Riches Wisdom. Wow, I like your name. Emmanuel Riches, you have riches and wisdom together from Lagos. Thank you for joining the live stream. Welcome to the live stream. And my guest is here, Miss Chioma. So let me give you a brief rundown about. I know she's here. She's listening to me. This is Sword Maths. Hi, I'm Prince joining from. Where is Prince joining me from? Enugu. I teach maths. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so this is the best place for you. So you teach maths. Welcome to the live stream. All right, let me give a quick rundown about my colleague here. My colleague here is a very wonderful, pretty lady that has been my backbone in this. In fact, she's my boss. I used to call her my sponsor. I used to call her my madam. In fact, all work joined together is what I used to call her. So she's going to be teaching us. Hello, Mr. Choma, can you hear me? Let me be sure that you're here with me. Can you hear me? Hello.
Hello, Miss Blessing. I can hear you.
Okay. That's it.
That's it. Okay, welcome to the live stream. I'm wondering why I'm not seeing you from my phone end. I know you're already in the live stream. So let me see what is going on here. Let me see. Shannon, this the girl. Okay, welcome. It's good to have you. It's good to have you.
Thank you, Blessing.
Yes. So, yes. Hello, Miss. This is from Manda D. Oh, Miss Amanda. Hello, Miss Blessing. Hello, Miss Choma. So they are greeting you already. You are now
Hi,
a
everyone.
superstar.
Okay, Miss Blessing, please.
My colleague, Chue. You're not a superstar, so you are very famous. Please, you should follow her handles. Her name is Choma Anthony. Okay, both on LinkedIn, you see her, she's very active on LinkedIn. She's not very active. Oh, this lady, I beg her, she don't want to be active. I don't know why, but she's content packing the money from where she's packing the money from. But at least she's showing me the ropes, so I'm happy about it. So welcome to the live stream, Ms. Choma. Ms. Choma, please go ahead, give us a brief rundown about who you are so that we can go into what we have or what you have for us. Because I just want to today, see, I have my book and I have my pen. Right.
Okay. That's serious. That's serious.
Yeah. Okay, so go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Choma. Choma Oesobi, but you can call me Choma, right? I have been a math teacher for a while now, but I've been teaching online for over 3 years to 4 years now. Yeah, and over these years, I've been teaching 11 plus mathematics and SATS. So basically, in the 4 years I've been teaching mathematics online, I've helped learners prep for 11 plus exams and SAT. So my basic area of concentration is mathematics and NVR. Yes, math and NVR, basically. So yeah, that's all about me. So today, hopefully, we are going to learn a bit how the basic strategies that we can adopt prepping students for 11 plus and SAT. So I can see how I would do justice to that, hopefully. Thank you.
Because truly, yeah, because that's the topic is vast. Sometimes we think it's just something you just talk about. That topic is actually vast. That's why for English teachers, if you are here, you're an English teacher. I'm doing a 3 days program for English teachers because I want to see, and maybe I will talk with Miss Choma to do a 3 days program for math teachers. People should beg me very well. Okay, so I'm doing a 3 days program for English teachers. It's just 10K. You should just gather yourself. So that it's starting on the 29th to 31st of this month. It's small money, 10,000 chicken. So that I'll be able to break down this thing because there's a lot that you need to know about. If you want to prepare students for this thing, there's a lot you need to know about it. So exploring with Miss Oye said, hi, Miss Choma, happy to be here. Miss Dio says, hello, Miss B, hello, Miss Choma, good to be here. Bible story say, welcome superstar. Ha, is it like superstar?
You give me a new name. Miss Blessing.
Okay, so let's go ahead and you could go ahead, share with us your screen, whatever you have with us. So you have like 1 hour or two. In fact, take our time. We're not using to do anything this
Don't
night.
worry, I'm not going
So
to
you
take
have
too
our
much of your
time.
time, all right?
Okay.
I want to make it as brief as possible, as conspicuous as possible. So
Okay.
I would share my screen in a moment. Okay, I hope you all can see this here.
I think
Please
it's loading. It's
confirm,
going to take a
Betty.
while.
Can you see my
Mm.
screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen. Yes. Yes, I can see it. I can see
Okay.
it.
All right. Okay, so I'm here today. We're going to be looking at strategies for prepping students for SAT and 11 plus exams. So looking at this topic, you would think it's just like a walk in the park, but seriously, it's quite vast. There is really a lot to cover. There is a lot you need to know when you are prepping learners for SAT and 11 plus exams, right? So we're going to quickly dive right into it. And in the course of the discussion, these are the agenda. Okay, these are the things I'm going to be focusing on. We're going to be looking at the difference between 11 plus and KS2 SAT exam. So I have to emphasize KS2 SAT exam because this is like the UK framework, examination framework. Then we have the other SAT that for people that are prepping for college exams, right? For college, right? So that is for US. So I have to emphasize KS2 SAT exams here. So we're also going to be looking at what is the format of the 11 plus and SAT exams, the core maths and NVR curriculum, how to structure your revision lessons to help pupils gain more marks. Then we're going to also be looking at deliver data-driven timeline strategies, time management, and some sort of stress reduction, And then I'm going to just be sharing with us few, basically both free and paid resources that has supported me as a teacher for the meantime. And there are really a lot of resources, just by picked basic few that I could share with you all. So let's dive right into it, right? So what is the core difference between 11 plus and KS2 exams? Right? I know a lot of you might have known this, but for those of you that don't, so this is really for you. So for 11 plus exams, I didn't really capture this in the way, but okay, there's a slide. So I'm going to be discussing it in details as we move on. So for 11 plus exam is exam that learners take usually in year 6 autumn term, right? And it helps them to prepare them to gain admission into grammar schools, right? And okay, it's optional, it's not mandatory for any learner. So if a student is looking forward to gain admission into grammar school, 11 plus is the way to go, right? So it's optional and highly selective for grammar and independent schools. Then the topics that are usually featured, the verbal reasoning, non-verbal reasoning, English, mathematics. Now, this is dependent on the examination board. Then, okay, yeah, I've emphasized this. Another key thing to note about 11 plus is the rigorous testing methodology, right? 11 plus is usually rigorous. It tests beyond key skills. It tests beyond the peripheral knowledge of the topics. It tests the learner's application application method, and of topics length. Now, the KS2 SAT exams. So the KS2 SAT exam is a standard exam in the UK, right? And it's mandatory for children in state-funded UK primary schools. So for KS2 SAT exams, strictly English and maths, that is for KS2. Then I think KS1, we have like science. So we have the SAT is strictly SAT exam strictly assesses the mastery of the national curriculum, right? So let's go on. So on here, we want to discuss the 11 plus exam board and their format. Now, you are a teacher, you are aiming to teach or prep students for 11 plus. You really need to understand the boards. It's a prerequisite, yes. I will call it something mandatory, right? You need to understand the board that you are prepping your learner for. What board? What is the nature of the exam? What is their style? Is it a multi-choice? Is it handwritten? Is it online? You need to understand the technicalities involved in this exam board and how their method of setting these questions, of setting their questions, right? So when you understand this, it will be easier for you to deliver. It will be easier for you to teach your learners effectively. So I'm going to just look at the basic exam board that for 11 plus exams, right? So we have the GL assessment. So mostly the GL assessment is multi-choice, and it's usually, yeah, handwritten, right? And the topics covered here, maths, English, verbal reasoning, non-verbal reasoning. Now, you wouldn't want to, a case where you're supposed to be teaching a learner strictly mathematics, and then you are thinking, okay, I'm teaching this learner for 11 plus, I need to pair this and with AVR or with not all of that. So you wouldn't want that situation. So you need to know your exam board and know it well. So we have the center evaluation for evaluation and monitoring. So that's another exam board. And for SEM is a mixture of multiple choice question and yeah, short answer, which is like a drop the two questions. So for SEM, it is an online basic, online base, right? And yes, the topics that are being taught the students are examined for, we have math, English, non-verbal, verbal reasoning, and special reasoning. Verbal reasoning and special reasoning go hand in hand, right? So we have the ISEB, that is Independent School Examination Board. And exam style, multi-choice, papers written, math, English, non-verbal reasoning, and verbal reasoning. So we have the FSCE. So this one is a new one, right? It's a new one, but then it's really gaining momentum, right? I think myself, I've prepped students writing the GL, SEM, ISEB, CSE, but I've not prepped a child writing the FSCE. So if you have a child writing the FSCE, you know better that they don't do non-verbal reasoning and they don't do verbal reasoning. So multi-choice questions, and they're strictly on maths, English, and kind of sometimes science and humanities. Then for CSSE rather, the CSSE can be rigorous. It's one exam board that I know that if your learner scales through CSSE, you need to buy that learner a champagne. Like you need to basically go visit that learner wherever the learner
Like
is. It's
pour them
really,
cold water. That
yeah,
exam
it's really
is tough.
rigorous, really rigorous. Like it tests the learner beyond the basis. It really stretches their to know their level of understanding. It stretches to know how well they can apply topics that they've learned to real life situations. So for SEM, it's strictly English and mathematics, right? English and mathematics. Okay, now that you know your exam board, one thing again you would want to understand is your curriculum, right? You're prepping student for 11 plus and SAT. Okay, so I'm speaking based of maths. So an MVR, so I'm be touching a little bit on MVR. So you're prepping student for this. So you need to understand your curriculum, right? So I think I didn't really do justice to the curriculum, but then as a teacher, you need to go beyond when it comes to curriculum, right? You need to understand the focus, right? You need to understand the topics that takes the high percentile of the examination per se. You need to understand the methodologies, right? You need to understand which topics plays out the most, right? Now, for 11 plus and SATs, I would say you will see a little bit of all topics, but there are some topics that we like they are the baba of the exam. Topics like numbers, your FDP, your geometry, right? Measurements, statistics, and algebra. They really are kind of dominant, right? And basically, these are the topics that are covered for the KS2, right? So here, I just did a little sketch of what I have perceived over the years to have been the in thing or the major coverage of the examinations, right? Across board, right? You know, whether it's GL, the SEM, the CSSC, the ISEB, you will see numbers question a lot. Now you see them as arithmetics, and you also see them in applied form, reasoning, right? So 11 plus don't really have just about very few arithmetic question and a lot of reasoning question. That's why it's really that rigorous. So numbers, fraction, decimal percentages. That is another topic that takes a whole lot of percentage when it comes to the topics covered for the 11 plus. Then we have algebra. Okay. Next to that is actually measurements. And then we have geometry. Now, when you talk about measurements, you're talking about conversion between units. You're talking about your area. You're talking about perimeter. You're talking about all of that. You're talking about time. Time is a huge thing, right? Because I think it's really downplayed when it comes to teaching these students. The basic
Exactly.
time, yeah, the student led
Time is always a
time.
factor. Hmm.
Yes. So it's usually in their year three or so, but it's a huge thing. So let's quickly just take more like an overview, okay? Like I said, this is not a detailed topic outline. This is more like an overview of the topics that the 11 plus covers. So we have numbers. So on the number, you're looking at place value, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, fractions, right? Including decimals and percentages. Then you have measurements. So if you notice, I didn't detail that, but if you need that, you could ask Miss B. I could do something about that. Then we have geometry. Geometry, we have properties of shape. This is very important. You see geometry, properties of shape, a lot important. Learners really need to understand the intricacies when it comes to analyzing shape, understand how to approach questions that has to do with in fact, they really need to understand the properties of their shape because it just don't end in geometry. It cuts across other aspects, right? So we have position and direction, and we have statistics. These 8 topics are the core. Now, it's not just for 11 plus, both 11 plus and SATS. These 8 topics are the core, right? Because, like I said earlier, 11 plus is taken in year or autumn term. That is September. Yes, around September, year 6. So they test learners beyond that, what their level. They test learners across all the KS2 topics. So if you are teaching a child prepping for 11 plus, you wouldn't want to just stop at year 5 topics. You want to go through the KS2 topics, right? So that they can have a well-rounded knowledge. That is actually depending on the time that you are teaching this learner. Now, I do want to add a bit of nonverbal reasoning here. So for nonverbal reasoning, now this is more like the core, right? The visual logic, the spatial awareness, the sequence processing, the transformation. And under this, you can see their individual topics. For teachers teaching nonverbal reasoning, you know that this nonverbal reasoning is really, really time constrained, right? So it goes beyond testing your learner on their ability to analyze things. It tests them their ability to analyze it very fast. It tests their visual acuity in the fastest manner that you can ever think of, right? So you need to be analyzed when it comes to nonverbal reasoning. You need to understand that time is such a huge factor. So depending on when your learner is coming to you or when you're starting out with your learner, you need to understand that after guiding, you really need to work with these learners to make sure that they answer these questions within the particular time. In fact, questions for nonverbal reasoning across boards is just 30 seconds per question, no matter how hard it is, no matter how tricky it is. 30 seconds, you're supposed to answer a particular question. So you would want to do well to guide your learners accordingly. Okay, so now for
Sorry,
visual.
Ms. Shama, let me just, please, if you're following, please ensure that you're following. Please like the video, like, subscribe, share, send it to someone, okay? Ms. Shama is dishing some things that some people are supposed to be paying for, but it's okay. She's going really deep into the topics. She's going deeper into the topic. So please like the live stream, share, okay? She's still explaining more. I just want to know that you guys are following. So if you're following, please go ahead and indicate that you're following. I could see Visa Freak said, please ensure to like the live stream and leave multiple reactions so more persons can join. Thank you, V. And Tsunami says, good evening, Miss Blessing. Okay, good evening to you too. Bible stories, Ivy, you need that. I know that is what Miss Choma said that you are needing. You will pay for it in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, I am over following. Okay, very good. Thank you, Bible stories, Ivy. All right, let's go, Miss
All
Miss
right,
Choma. All right, go
okay.
ahead. Okay,
All
thank
right,
you.
thank you. Okay.
Mhm.
So for nonverbal reason, so when we talk about visual logic, we are looking at analogies, odd one out, similarities, like shapes, and codes. So visual logic is basically about pattern and similarities, right? So when we talk about spatial awareness, you're talking about how more like folding, how you manipulate shapes, right? To other aspects or to suit a particular aspect. So you're talking about the 3D cube and net folding to cubes and all of that, net and cubes, right? We are looking at 3D blocks counting, blocks paper folding, punching and hidden shapes, and you're looking at embedded figures. So all these things you need to understand, you need to know, you need to own your curriculum. So in fact, you're supposed to own your curriculum to the point that if they tap you, if they tap you from sleep, if they wake you up from sleep, you should be able to analyze exactly what the particular curriculum you are working with. Because when you understand this in-depthly, communicating this to your learner becomes pretty easy. Okay, so that is it about our curriculum. So now we're going to be looking at how to deliver data-driven timeline strategies. How to deliver data-driven timeline strategies. Now, this is where the work comes, right? Now, this is where we are doing the preparation, okay? So you would want to not just deliver your lessons, you not just prep your learners, you want to do it in such a way that these learners have proper time management. They know how to, kind of size the questions, the complexity of the questions, and know if they are moving on or if they are just staying there to work it out, right? So now let's look at that. When it comes to exam performance, it depends on these abilities. It depends on the knowledge. It depends on the processing speed. Yeah, that is where time is a huge thing. And now it depends on decision making under time pressure, right? So it's possible. We've seen learners that are very bright, that when given a lot of time, when they work things out on their own time, they do excellently well. But immediately you time these learners, it becomes a different ball game altogether. So
That's
even
subjective.
with you, just as a teacher, they are really freaked out already. So you can imagine them under time, exam condition. So that means that prepping students goes beyond the knowledge. You really need to do a serious work when it comes to time management, right? You really need to do it. And then you really need to guide your learners on how to, focus on a question. Okay, put their time in solving a particular question, or if they are to skip and come back to it, or if they are to even at some point do a guesswork, right? So I'm not supposed to say that, but that's the truth. I believe I'm talking to teachers. So you have to really know all the strategies so that you can guide them effectively, right? Now, when it comes to exam strategies, right? The core thing, or will I say these three things is more like a repeated circle that every teacher should follow to gain the best results, right? Now, when a child comes to you or you are being introduced to a child, you want to take that is non-negotiable. Administering a diagnostic baseline test is non-negotiable because you would want to understand where you're meeting the learner at that particular time, and you want to understand what the learner has up their sleeve. Now, when doing baseline assessment, you're not just testing their knowledge, you're testing their time management, so you're giving them, when it comes to baseline assessment, you are giving these learners full. I will always suggest, especially for learners that are coming for 11 plus and SATS, give them full paper, let them do it under the same time condition. Give them a strict examination time conditions. Give them that so that you understand overly how these learners approach questions, how they do this, how they manage their time, if they manage their time properly. That will give you a good guide on how to guide this particular learner or teach this particular learner. So now, after your baseline assessment, you've gotten or understood exactly what you're looking for. it's not static, basically, because a lot of things can be a factor. You might give a child a child you're meeting for the first time a baseline assessment, and possibly because of a lot of a lot of factors, the child might do well or not do well, right? Now you might actually give that same child that same paper in few weeks, and they will surprise you. They will do better than what they did. So there are the factors, but that notwithstanding, you want to understand their level as at the time they come to you. So when you get to understand that, this will help you to prep, to organize your how you're going to be related to this learner. Organize the topics accordingly, right? You know their areas of weakness, you know their areas of strength, and that will help you or guide you through. Now, after the baseline assessment, this particular the three pointers I've put down here is a circle. It doesn't stop, right? So every topic you're introducing, you want to do a diagnostic check-in with the learner, right? Especially for those in examination class. You don't teach examination class as if you're trying to you know, you don't teach them with a lot of, you teach them with a lot of fragility, right? You don't teach them with sort of a relaxation. So when you introduce a topic, right, you want to do a diagnostics check-in. You give like a short independent diagnostic question to your learner so that you understand their level. You wouldn't want to be giving administering questions or taking the learner through topics that they have kind of understood. I think that is you on the delivering or on the performing, or you're just giving them something below their standard, right? So, but when you do a quick diagnostic check-in for every topic that you are introducing, it helps you to meet the learner at exactly where they are, right? So, when you do this diagnostic check-in and you've understood your learner's level, then you can now do a targeted scaffolding. So when you say scaffolding, it's just like guided practice, you know, some level of ladders to help your learner get to a particular level, right? So you want to do a guided practice or targeted scaffolding. So people would complete this independently so you can identify what is needed or the areas that is needed for more scaffolding. Now, after that, you are giving them assessment. Now, like I said, this is a circle. You don't just do it and then you continue to teach for a very unlimited time before you now give the child assessment. You are doing that child a disfavor. You are not preparing the child for exam, right? So exam class is supposed to be more like, it's supposed to be, I wouldn't use the word strict, but then it's supposed to be focused, really focused, right? Now, when we talk about assessment, we have formative and we have summative assessment. Now, formative assessment is just like independent tasks. So after I've taught, let's say, fraction, I'm introducing a topic today, fraction. What's the first thing I need to do? I will quickly get few questions. This child is in exam class, right? So they've started doing fractions since year 3, right? So you don't want to start doing, okay, today's fraction, what is fraction? Fraction is that, okay, let's add fraction, let's subtract fraction. No, you are getting some few questions on all the topics that particular topic, in this case, fraction covers, adding and subtracting fractions, multiplying, dividing, worded questions. So you're like getting like few questions. Administer this to the child. Now, where the child least perform tells you their areas of weakness and where you need to focus and where you need to, you know, build the child on. Now, after you've done that, you now guide the child, and afterwards you are assessing the child, reassessing the child on those particular areas that they didn't really do well, right? So, and after this assessment, it's very important you grade them immediately and you are giving immediate feedback, right? Now, when it comes to assessment, I'll always advise, if you are prepping a child for 11 plus, please don't go for random questions. What I usually do, right? I have, like, I will use 5 papers. AI has actually made it very easy. So you can actually quickly update or upload your papers, those papers that you want to use, and then ask AI to, kind of, I don't know the right word to use, or kind of generate questions on a particular topic that you're teaching from that paper that you've uploaded to the AI agent, right? So that way you save yourself the time of trying to scan through the papers and get questions for your assessment. So when you are assessing, you're not assessing learners, exam classes, you're not assessing them with random questions. You must, as a matter of fact, use their exam standard questions, okay? So that by the end of the day, you don't just teach, you have also helped them to practice with similar exam question, right? So, like I said, this particular 3 pointers is a circle. Now, at the end of the month, depending on the topics you've covered, you are expected to give this child an assessment, right? That is what we call the summative assessment. So give this child an assessment based on these topics so that you know their overall strength and their overall weakness and the areas you need to focus on. Okay, so basically this approach helps you to reduce cognitive overload, right? You are not doing too much. You are not trying to repeat what they know. You're not trying to go around circles. You're not trying to, bug the child. You are engaging the child and you're doing that effectively. Okay, so now we want to talk about like as I earlier stated, we are looking at data-driven timeline strategy, right? Now, when it comes to this, it depends on when the child, when a child starts their preparation with you, right? Now, depending on that, you should know the exact thing or the exact strategy to help this child improve, right? So take, for instance, it's just a month to 11 plus, and you recently just got a child that is prepping for 11 plus just in a month time. You don't want to spend the time doing all those deep dive into topic-based learning, right? You want to drill the child with the exam questions, right? You want to more like focus on drills, right? So you're using, at that particular point, you're using strictly the past papers to help you drive the goal, right? Because when prepping students for exam, right, depending on the time that you start teaching them or start preparing them for the exam, you would want to do a deep focused learning. That is if you have ample time. So for a child that is joining you 1 to 2 years before the exam, that is for those currently in year 3, 4. Some parents are really getting too smart. They will start, they know, okay, I want my child to go to grammar school. Then they are starting from year 3. I really love such parents. They make the work very easier, right? So you know that when this child comes to you, you're not doing dilly-dally. You are taking, you are being serious. That does not mean you should do dilly-dally with any of your learners. So, but you are really focused on what should be achieved, right? So if it's a long term, you would want to do deep conceptualization. Now, I put this under 11 plus strategy, but this is basically mostly for your MVR, yes, and 11 plus. Then for SATS and 11 plus maths, it's more like the same strategy, only that we all know that 11 plus exams are quite tricky. They need deeper understanding, right? So if a learner is joining you 2 years before the exam, you want to focus on deep conceptualization, right? You want to take topics, do topic by topic exploration, and then as you're doing topic by topic exploration, you are also focusing heavily on word problems. So you're taking it one layer at a time, right? You are not rushing the learner. Nobody's rushing you. So you want this child to have a deep understanding of the topics. So in this case, you do a topic, you teach a topic, and you can also do interleaving, obviously, because that way your learner is not kind of bogged out with a lot of, or bored out with a lot of just being on a topic for a very long time. So you want to focus heavily on word problem, mental math, speed, and for MVR, building special logic through puzzles. You can also use your, here you can now use your apps and all of that to engage the learner. Quizy apps and apps that support learning to engage your learners. So that is for long-term approach, right? You're doing this for long-term approach. You're doing deep learning, topic by topic learning when it comes to long-term approach, right? Then for SAT, you are also doing systematic execution of every single object in the year 6 curriculum. So you are taking it one at a time. And after that, you are assessing the learner's understanding using exam type question, the standard exam type question. So if you're prepping a child for SAT, you're using SAT questions for the assessments. If you're prepping a child for 11 plus, you're using 11 plus, especially the board, the exam board that they are writing for the assessments. Now, if it's midterm, 3 to 6 months, you want to do a bit of both, right? Now, you might, this time around, this is where interleaving plays a whole lot of role, right? You would want to kind of look at topics that are similar in nature and put them together, do a diagnostic check in with the learner on these topics. And afterwards, you do guided practice with this learner and the assessment follow. So here, you have to do pattern mastery for MVR, right? Then you have to switch completely to untimed mixed topic exam papers to recognize questions swiftly, right? So here, you are not, you don't have a whole lot of time. So you are doing missed questions, right? You are trying to, it might not be strictly timed, but I will always advise that you start timing on time so that by the time you are like 3 months into, out the exam, the child must have mastered timing, right? So that wouldn't be, is usually a huge factor for student prepping for writing exams. So you want to take that out right from the very start. Okay, so for SAT, you want to do targeted gap analysis using past SAT topical questions. Now, that simply means that when you're doing topical questions, for instance, you're learning fraction today, and then you are assessing the learner using past question, but then on the particular topic you're doing. And then at the end of the month, you would want to use the SAT past question to assess the learner for that month, right? Then if it's 1 month out, this is a very short term. This is where you do strictly question practice, and you're going to be, timing is not optional, it's not negotiable here, right? You want to drill them and you want to adopt any time management method that works for the learner, right? This time around, you really need to up the game when it comes to timing and time management. So for SAT, this time around, you want to focus on the paper. So the learner should be writing their, taking their assessment based on the full paper, right? You're doing arithmetic drill, you're doing paper reasoning, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, right? Drill. So at the end of the day, you understand that this learner is really equipped for what they are doing or what they are prepping for the exam body they are prepping for. Okay, so let's look at time management. So previously, I talked about the traffic light system. Did I? I think I did. So the traffic light system for the 1 month out, right? So there you really need to teach your learners how to categorize questions or just upon reading them, right? So the traffic time management, you want to help your learners, you want to train them to categorize questions instantly upon reading them. So you could tell them that for green, it simply means I know this, I can solve this, and they do it immediately. You don't leave it for no one. You don't leave it to till later. You do it immediately. Then the yellow, I know how to do this, but it will take time. So you can teach the learner. So if you know how to do it, it could take time. You could circle it, asterisk it, right? And then come back to it later. But all the greens must be answered as immediately they encounter it. Then for red, that simply means that the learner have no idea. They don't even know how to approach this question. You need to tell them, you need to make them understand that they, at this point, they could actually guess the answer. But especially for multi-choice question, nothing should be left undone, right? Now, this exam strategy, okay? This is not something that you should practice when you are basically coaching your learner to. It's something you do possibly a week to learner to the exam, so that they know that, yes, if it comes to this, if it boils down to this is exactly what I should do, right? So for multiple choice question, teach your learners to leave nothing undone. If it is too hard, please go on and mark it, right? And make a guess and mark it. So if they don't know, they will leave it blank. And who knows, the probability rule wouldn't play anymore. So when you circle, there's still a probability that you could get it right. Okay, so now these are the few resources that I use as a teacher. I use CGP books a lot. So for CGP is really, really rich. Yes. It could help you to even administer diagnostic test. So it has this free 10 minutes test that if you're meeting a learner for the first time, I think it's actually a very great way that way you're not spending, especially the ones that have a lot of time to the exam per se. So this would be a great way for you to, administer a diagnostic test, because you also do the review instantly, right? So it's just 10 minutes and learner are expected to answer about 12 questions within these 10 minutes. So in these 10 minutes, they answer 12 questions, and afterwards their score pops out immediately. So I would really recommend 10 minutes free CGP maths, even MVR for teachers who are looking for easy way to administer diagnostic tests for learners, especially those that have a bit of time to the exam.
Okay, sorry, Michelle.
So,
Okay, someone is saying, sorry, someone is asking, someone is saying that, um, are you saying US write 11 plus, why UK write SATS? Please clarify. So I think maybe you
no, no,
should
no, no.
explain. I think they get confused where we know that we have US SATs and UK SATs. So
Okay.
US SATs is, yeah. So I think that's where the confusion is coming from. So please, you could also clarify. And then someone else was also asking, where can I get 11 plus and key stage 2 past question papers and answers? So maybe you could just clarify the first one and then the other one, then you continue.
Okay, so the examination landscape for UK is 11 plus. Like I stated earlier, it helps students to gain admission into grammar schools. 11 plus. And KS2 SAT exam is UK exam, right? These are exams done in the UK, right? But for the SAT US that you're talking about is basically for students going to college. It's not for lower level, right? It's not for KS2 students. So the difference there is that UK writes SAT for KS2 students. US takes SAT for students prepping for college. I hope that answered the question. So for UK, the examination framework includes 11 plus and KS2 SAT. We also have KS1 SAT, right? But for what I do, I basically focus on KS2 SAT, okay? So that is the examination framework for UK. I hope that answers the question. So please, what's the second question?
She said, where can I get 11 plus and key stage to pass questions and answers?
Okay, so you can for 11 plus, right? You can go online, basically. You can, like I have CGP. CGP books have free 11 plus exams. Bond also have free 11 plus exams. So you can search these. Then Pi Academy, when you get to Pi Academy, we have a lot of independent school exams that you could get. The only difference here is that for Pi Academy, you could download the questions, a lot of questions on Pi Academy. So Pi Academy is also recommended. So you can get a whole lot of questions on Pi Academy for 11 plus. Then basically you can have there are how would I say it? A lot of like Telegram groups, WhatsApp groups that you could easily join and gain access to these questions. But for now, Bond 11 plus CGP free questions, they can, and Pi Academy, they are really good ways or you could start with.
Okay, thank you. All right, go ahead though.
All
Don't worry,
right.
everyone. What I'll do is maybe I'm just going to put a list or links in the WhatsApp channel. So please, if you've not joined the WhatsApp channel, go ahead and join the WhatsApp channel so that you can have access to these links where you could get past questions from. Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Mara. Go ahead, ma'am.
All right, so I'm actually concluding here. So these are where you can basically get questions from, right? So you have your Fire Academy, you have exam paper plus, you have free section. This is barely paid, but you still have free session. So for your 11 plus, Bond, CGP, Pi Academy, exam paper plus are good to go, right? Then for your SAT, you can easily get SAT questions. In fact, if you type in SAT past questions, you can easily have access to that. But you see this Raventop Primary Academy, there you get topic-based questions. It has really been useful to me and I thought I should share. You get topic-based questions. So you see SAT questions that has to do with fractions, that has to do with all the topics that you are basically teaching for KS2, Key Stage 2, or prepping student for SAT exams. So you're going to see a topic-based, then you have third space learning. So when you go online, basically, it's very easy for you to get SAT questions, right? Very, very easy. So you might find it challenging sometimes to get 11 plus questions, but Pi Academy is your friend. Bond 11 plus is also your friend. CGP free 11 plus questions is also your friend. Okay, so here, I bet to round up, right? Except if you have a
See
question for
updates.
me. Sorry.
Yes. I see updates. I'm just checking some of these sites. I've never heard of Raventop before. I have never heard of Third Space Learning. So as you're talking, I was just going to check. As you were talking, I was just going to check them out. So that's a very good update. So please, there are a lot of them that a lot of places, and I know that SAT. I know that SATs SATS past question is, I think if you go to SATS, is it SATS.uk?
Yes,
Um,
that's
yes,
okay.
satspaper.co.uk. Yes, that's where I know that we usually get our SATS papers from. And this, so basically, you've told us that we should, if we're teaching a learner for a long period of time, that's if the learner comes from maybe like year 4, year 5, that means we have to do a deep learning. We are teaching the child topic by topic. Is it
Mm.
possible? I'm just saying, right? Is it possible to cover
Mhm.
these topics? Because the topics are much. If I'm not mistaken, for a child to, there are over 40 11 plus, over 40 11 plus topics that a child should know, right? In maths.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there are over 40 of them. Then if you look at verbal reasoning, no, non-verbal reasoning, I think there are over 30 or so. Then you have
Yeah.
English over 60. I know English itself is broad, so English own is over 60. I
Mm.
sat down to calculate. Then verbal reasoning, you have over 30. Is it possible a for a child that is doing a 1 hour lesson to cover all of these things? That the child is preparing for 11 plus, but like you said, the child is starting from year 4. Doing 1 hour a week, is it possible to cover all of these lessons? What do you think? Is it logical that we can cover this scheme before the year 6, or yeah, year 6, when the child is going to write this exam?
Okay. So I don't think taking it topic by topic is what I really meant by deep learning, right? So
Mm,
now there are topics that you can merge together, right? For instance, I want to teach a child fraction. Now, if I want to take it subtopic by subtopic, right? So that means I'll have to today, I'm doing adding and subtracting. Tomorrow, I slowly do multiplication. No, that's not what I mean. So you pick a topic that have all the subtopics, right? Now, if you are to group these by if you are grouping it accordingly, right? It wouldn't be up to let me say up to 12 major topics that a child should master. I'm talking about mathematics, right? It
mhm.
wouldn't be up to 12 major topics a child should master. Now, it is under these topics that you understand you have subtopics that,
Subtopics,
yes,
okay.
that when you want to make a cumulative, it becomes almost like 40. So no, please, I'm not saying you should gradually just take it slowly like that. No, not at all, please. Interleaving is a thing for prepping students for exam, please. Very, very important, right? So it's really not logical, especially when you're meeting a child for just once in a week.
A
And that
week.
is where the idea of diagnostic check comes to play. Like I stated, you don't start teaching a topic without checking where the child is at that with that topic, or the child level of understanding with that topic. Else, you're wasting not just the child, you're wasting your time, and now you're wasting the child's time, right? So you need to do a diagnostic check. Understand, it could be a verbal, just asking the child some questions. It could be, like I said, just a minute of, or few minutes rather. You can use even quizzes to check in the level of this child to or on the particular topic you want to start or you're about teaching. So diagnostic checking is really important. So you don't end up teaching what you're not supposed to be teaching. You understand? I hope that
Okay.
answers the question.
Yeah, it does answer the question. Um, yeah, I could see Lenny Grace says thank you. The Kingdom says yes, thank you, Ma. Sachin Edu says thank you so much, Mr. Ma. That was insightful. Yes, we know it is really insightful. And this is where I usually talk about it. If those of you that are here, you usually follow me. This is where I usually talk about baseline assessment. The last video I did, I don't know why most of you did not watch that video, but the last video I did, I talked about baseline assessment, how you can create baseline assessment, whether it is an 11 plus or SATs, whether it's an exam student or not. But the fact that the child is new, I will always advise, do a baseline assessment. I have a live stream where I talked about how what the baseline assessment is about and what you can use it for. And I also did a video where I did a step-by-step breakdown of how you can create baseline assessment using ChatGPT and maybe the past question you want to use, and then your Google form. Okay. So if you have any question, please go ahead and say your question. Ms. Choma has really done us well today. Thank you for showing us a lot. There was one particular thing I picked. I didn't know about that new exam. FS something something. I'm not heard of it before. I don't know it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to now actually look out for it and explore it because they keep bringing out some things newly every time. So the one I know we're used to is GLISEB, what's it called? GLISEB, CSSE. These are exam boards that we know that we're used to regularly. But this new one that is out now, I don't know it. So I'm just going to see. That's why I love you. You always give me something new every time. I always have something I'm learning from you. That's good. All right. Exploring learning with Oyin. You say love the session. Thank you. Okay. So Miss Choma, you have done us very well today. You see, I'm also happy that I was able to drag you out of your hole. That you don't like showing your face. I'm glad I was able to bring you out to show your face. Someone is asking a question. Say, ma, please, I need clarity. Can I need clarity where this. Oh, no, no, I'm not seeing her question well. Let me see what she said. Hold on, give me a moment.
Okay.
Okay, so she said, I need clarity on this. Can one tutor teach all the subjects in this exam? So I think she wants to, Miss Ezine, I want to understand if are you asking if one tutor can teach both maths, English, verbal reasoning, and non-verbal reasoning? Please specify. But I think that's what maybe that's what is that she's talking about. She said subjects, yes. So if she's saying subjects, that means it's maths, English, verbal reasoning, and non-verbal reasoning. Can one teacher teach all of them? Miss Shoma, please answer us. Me, I cannot answer
What
that
teacher can
question.
know, you can do it according to your riches in knowledge. So I can't be the one to say that this is what you can and this is what you cannot do. But the fact remains that please, it's if you're asking, can one teacher do it? That means that you obviously don't even know your level of, so for you to even ask the question, it simply means that you're actually not ready for that, right? So this, especially 11 plus, is technical, is time consuming, is how would I say, it needs you to put in the work, right? So I don't know how you want to do that with verbal reasoning, non-verbal reasoning, English and mathematics. You must really be a superhuman. So, but then, like I said, you can do it according to your riches in knowledge. I'm not the one that will tell you what you can or you cannot do. So if you are
This is
knowledgeable in
what, yeah.
these subjects, so why not? You can.
Okay, but then again, I would say it's not advisable. Mr. Kola Wole says it's not advisable. Thank you. The reason why I say it's not advisable is best to niche down. If you're coming to the online space, and that's the first reason why in my trainings, whenever you come, the first thing I will always teach you is niching, to niche down, learn how to niche. So when you come in, I will teach you, don't teach all, niche down to the class, niche down to the exam, niche down to the one that you know you can handle.
Exactly.
Because doing all of them at once, you go choke. It choke. The day to choke, even
A
you said you'll be wondering what's
superhuman.
going. Because so it's best it's either you're doing maths and non-verbal reasoning, or you focus on
Exactly.
English
English
and
and
verbal reasoning because they kind of align. English and verbal reasoning align, maths and non-verbal reasoning align. In fact, even inside verbal reasoning, you will see some maths question. We do some maths question in English. In the verbal reasoning, you will see number sequence. You will see it's so I had to go learn basic maths. Like it's not like I don't know basic maths, but I had to put in effort to learning this thing because I'm teaching them. Yeah, actually, it's true. Sometimes there are some things my students will just calculate with their head. Me, I will use calculator. I will do it in a way they will not know I'm using their teacher calculator because it's not me you want to come and shame. When you're doing number sequence, when you're doing letters for numbers, and you're doing so some in some verbal reasoning, you will see maths in it. right? So it's very important that you know these things. Go through the past questions. The past questions will tell you what is inside and what is not inside. Miss Edina, I hope that answers your question. Okay. Obianuju says very insightful. Well done, Miss Choma and Miss B. Yes. Okay. Teaching is fun says thank you for this. You're very welcome. So it's very important that you know what you're doing. The reason why we're talking about this is 11 plus exam season, right? And this is why I put this together. This is exam season for 11 plus, and most what's it called? Most parents now are looking for 11 plus teachers or are looking for exam tutors. So if you can sit down and learn these things and apply as exam tutors or apply as an exam tutor to parents or how will I put it? Yes, to parents, they will actually take you. Why? Because most parents want their children to go to the grammar schools or independent schools, as the case may be, or the grammar schools, majorly grammar schools. They want their children to go to the grammar schools. So you have to get yourself prepared, arrange your, and summer is coming. August, July, August, they have gone on break, and right now, my US students are on break with night class. But UK students, they'll go on break in is it July? Yeah, July. So you get yourself ready so that when you're doing your work with them in July, August, you're making your money this holiday period. All right. So thank you, Miss Choma. So I hope to do this again with you. So, Miss Choma, I'm going to contact you. You're going to do the paid version of this one, Master Teachers. When I brought out the paid version, that's the 10K class for English teachers for 3 days. They were asking, Master Teachers were on my neck and they were saying, what are for Master Teachers? So I will have to do for maths and probably science teachers as well. LES teachers, people too, should also get ready. I think I'm just going to do it in batches so that anybody that is coming as what's it called? Anybody that is coming to teach us is going to get the person self-prepared as well. And I'm going to use this holiday period or when teachers will be on break to actually do the teaching. So thank you everyone for joining tonight's section. Thank you, Miss Choma. It was really wonderful
Thank
having you here. I wish I
you.
could. Can I give you mods? Should I give you mods from here? Like
I don't
give you
mind.
you don't mind. You don't mind.
I
Is
don't mind.
Desiree? I will come. I'll just call one of your students for you. Desiree or Lewa. Call one of them that will disturb you. All right. All right. Thank you all for
Okay,
joining.
thank
I hope you
you.
all have learned something good today. Yeah. Thank you, Miss Choma. And I hope you have a wonderful night rest. We are going to relate off camera. Okay. Someone is asking,
Okay.
what's the difference between verbal reasoning and non-verbal reasoning? Oh. Um, am I sharing my screen? Let me see if I can maybe show you a paper of what a verbal reasoning. Let me see if I can share what a verbal reasoning paper looks like and what a non-verbal reasoning paper looks like so that you guys will just see it. But if you go on the site, you might be able to see what verbal reasoning actually look like and what non-verbal reasoning look like. Let me see if I can I see non-verbal reasoning here? Do I have non-verbal? I'm not, yeah, okay, I can see non-verbal reasoning. Okay, let me just quickly share with you guys what the papers look like. But Mr. Ma, thank you so much. You will not understand, no worries. When I go off camera, I know how I used to do now. So let me just share with you guys what I have here for verbal reasoning. This is basically what your verbal reasoning will look like. This is a GL pass paper. Okay, this is a verbal reasoning GL pass question paper. They usually give them 80 questions to be done in 50 minutes. Okay, so this is it, 80 questions in 50 minutes. So this is what it looks like. You will see different question types here. If you're an English teacher or you're a math teacher, please get ready for it. So this is their past question. You will see different question type. You will see, like I said, there is maths. There is a little bit of maths in it. Okay, so this one is your verbal reasoning where they have to think, logic, majorly logic, right? They think and then they give responses to their answers, right? And like I said, they have 80 questions to be done in 50 minutes. And that's the more reason why Ms. Choma was talking about timing. Okay, this is for verbal reasoning. Now, let me show you what non-verbal reasoning. Okay, 60 questions actually. Is it 60? No, 80. I'm sure of 80. Yeah. 80 question in 50 minutes. Now let me show you what the non-verbal reasoning looks like. Non-verbal reasoning most of the time is what's it called? Shapes, right? You see them give you shapes, you see them give you um where you have to identify the difference or the relationship between shapes and sometimes you have to count the edges. Sometimes non-verbal reasoning is not my forte because of the fact that it can be very tricky. You will have to look at it. So if you look at this is a non-verbal reasoning paper, it has a lot of shapes in it, right? You have to now identify the relationship, what's supposed to be here, what is following the sequence. And you have to, the child will have to think logically which one gives the best answer. Okay, so that is it. So all of these things are what you will see in your non-verbal reasoning paper, where you have to like find the figure like the first three. So what is the relationship between the first three and the other ones? You have to find the figure, okay, from the options. So it's, in fact, non-verbal reasoning is harder than verbal reasoning. I rather stay with verbal reasoning. I leave non-verbal reasoning for Miss Choma and the likes. I did not do that one, but I have them just in case my students be like, "Oh, Miss Blessing, can you explain something to me?" I could use the papers I have to just like explain. Okay, science background. This is Obianuju. She says, I have a science background, but I have been teaching English for a while. I'm just about to do online training this June. What's your advice for me? Miss Choma, do you have any advice for her? She said she has been teaching, she has a science background, but she has been teaching English for a while and she wants to do training. What's your advice?
Sorry, I think I missed on the question.
She said, I have a science background, but I have been
Okay.
teaching English for a while. I'm just about to do online training this June. What is your advice for me?
Okay, so the advice you're looking for, is it to continue teaching English or you should switch to science? So fact remains that you've been teaching English, because I personally I believe that you get better at what you do, right? So if you've been teaching English, you're science inclined, and are you teaching English well, right? Have you learned the methodologies of teaching English? Have you taken up courses? If you have, then you can continue with that field. But if you haven't, you have a science background. So this is something that you've possibly have spent a lot of years in the university to study, and you can easily, fit into that aspect. So you can actually develop it. So it's up to you, because right now you have an experience on English and you have you studied science, or you have a science background. So it's up to you. What do you want to do? Should make your choice and then develop that particular choice that you've made, and come on, you can now do what you want to do. So for me, since you have a bit of background in both, you should make your choice, right? Make your choice. But Miss B will tell you that English pays well. So if you're looking for money, you know where to go.
Even maths used to pay well, oh, don't mind Miss Choma. Oh. Okay. Um, all right. So again, let's go to Teaching with Fun says, what sites to get verbal and non-verbal reasoning questions and guideline? Same site.
Yeah,
Same
see.
site. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to drop the um I'm going to drop the I'm going to drop the link in the description of this video. So, or on the WhatsApp channel. It's either going to be on the WhatsApp channel or the description of this video. Thank you so much, Miss Choma. You really did justice. This is from Adeleke. I like anytime I hear Adeleke like this, I used to think of the video. Okay, Adeleke says, thank you, Miss Choma. You really did justice to the presentation and many insights and takeaways. Thank you. God bless you and Miss
You're
B. Oh,
welcome.
you're welcome. Oh, that's our work. It's our work. Oh. All right, so thank you so much for joining tonight's live stream. I'm glad you all have learned something new, and you were able to like pick something that you can use. So if you came in late, please go ahead and watch the live stream from the beginning. Miss Choma really broke down a lot of things, especially the exam boards. Like if you don't know the exam boards, please don't go and teach any child. Though there was a problem that happened in the last, let's say last year, a particular child was preparing to write a CSSE exam. The teacher did not ask, and the teacher was doing GL. GL is more of objective. CSSE, you will write. The teacher went and was doing GL. In fact, that child, in fact, it was after a while, the teacher came to meet me. By then, they have done this for, I think it was a month too. That's when I was like, no, you're teaching the wrong exam board. So it's always good you know the exam board that you're going to work with the child. So if you're here and you're preparing, please know the different exam board, know what it entails, so that you are not teaching a child something that you are not supposed to teach, and then the child will not fail, and then you will not be crying. Please, nobody should follow me, and then the person will cry. All right. Okay. So thank you so much for joining today's live stream. I'm glad that we were able to do this. I was thinking how I was going to pull it off or how we were going to pull it off, but I'm glad that we're able to. So thank you so much for joining, everyone. I hope you enjoyed today's live stream. Thank you, Miss Choma, once again. God
Thank
bless you
you. Thank you. Thank you,
for
Miss
showing up.
Blessing.
And this is not the end. You're going to do another session for us, a paid one, where we are going to have
Okay.
like 3 days, just the same way I'm doing for English teachers now. We're going to do, this is not for beginners, it's going to be for advanced people who really want to teach exam classes. We're going to do a 3 days course for them, where they can come in, learn how to teach these exam students, and then we move on from there. And then we're also going to have for EYFS teachers. When I mean EYFS, early years teachers, yeah. So I'm going to also bring a resource person that is going to come in, and early years teachers can actually pay and do the work as well. So thank you very much for joining, everyone. I'm glad to have you here, and we'll see you again on Sunday. Not every how we used to do it every Sunday. So next week Sunday is our next live stream. Thank you, Miss Choma. Miss Choma, this hair that you say was not hearing, it's not the hair that is shining now. Eh? This way are shining like moon.
Thank you. All right, Miss
Okay.
Blessing. Thank you. And thank you.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Okay. Bye.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so Miss Choma has gone. Kolowale say yes, so please ask the parents for the exam board. Oh, thank you, Miss B and Miss Choma. You're welcome. Bible stories. I thank you so much, Miss B. You're welcome. Please, for like 2 days in a week, 2 hours each. How much can one charge a UK client? Ella's given. He said for like 2 days a week, 2 hours each. How much can one charge a UK client? Okay, so it depends on what you're teaching, and it depends on the child's ability. I don't usually talk about pricing, but your price should be within 5 to 15K. Think about it. Think of, first of all, before you're giving the price, think of the what's it called? The level of the child's understanding. Think of that's why it's good to give a baseline assessment. So think of the level of the child's understanding, number one. Think of also of um the resources that you're going to use to teach the child. Again, think about if the parent is buoyant enough to pay that amount of money. Don't just go and give an outrageous price. Okay. Also think about your abilities and capabilities. So if the child is doing 2 times a week, 2 hours, that's 4 times in a week. 4 times in a week, you can do a discount. Okay, so you can do a discount. So that is also going to help. I hope that answers your question. Bible, Mr. Emmanuel. Oh, sorry, Ella's given. That was who asked the question. Bible stories. I will say thank you, Miss Choma. Emmanuel Edwin say thank you, Miss B. You're welcome. Emmanuel, I'm seeing a lot of Emmanuel. Emmanuel, which is wisdom. Miss Choma Anthony, I like your background. It seems you're staying in the West. No, she's not staying in the West. She's not staying in the West. Funny enough, she's in the North. Yeah. Funny enough, she's in the notes. Creative Midday. Thank you, my chief sponsor. I learned the film is very good. Thank you, Miss Choma. Okay, so Miss Choma has gone, but at least she's receiving our good wishes. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining tonight's live stream. If you're an English teacher, please get yourself ready. If you are ready for June, June training starts on the 6th of June. I'm not going to take anybody on 6th of June. Once we start our first class, please, I will not take anybody again. The last time people came and they were begging after our first class. I will not take anybody after our first class. So 6th of June, get yourself ready. So if you are new to the online teaching space, you want to learn how to teach online, I'm going to teach you everything from the basics to the point where you can get jobs. However, I don't give jobs. I only teach you what to do. You take your steps, put in the efforts, and then you get the jobs that you're going to do. You're going to get. Okay. So thank you, everyone. English teachers, your training is on the 29th to 31st. I'm sure that we're going to have a wonderful time as well. All right. Until I see you again next week, Sunday. Bye, everybody.